Hello, Real Writers. Chris here. Welcome to Journal with me on Sunday afternoons. I think we've crossed the 3-month mark by this point, so if you've been with me all this time, congratulations. You have definitely established a regular journaling practice, and I'm also saying that to myself because I let my journaling go for quite a while, and it was incredibly frustrating for me, which was why I started doing these, and so I'm very happy to have this regular practice. I do think it's really helping me um, gather my thoughts, take time for myself, get my bearings, dive into important ideas and emotions and thoughts that I'm not spending time doing, engaging with. And I think it's helping me be more aware and conscious during the rest of the week about what I say, what I feel, what I want, and I hope it's doing the same for you. So just a quick word about the deck giveaway, which I mentioned last week. If you were here last week, I received a duplicate copy of the Wild Rituals Intentions deck, which I used at the start of this series, but stopped using, not because I don't love it, because I do, but because it has rituals that don't lend themselves to video most of the time, like taking a bath and going out and digging and whatever. I mean, I'm not really selling it here, but it really is a beautiful deck with wonderful rituals in it. Some very simple and some having a little more to them. Not super complex. You don't have to run out and buy all these materials or anything, nothing like that. But they might require you to go out into nature and collect some things, or just spend more time than we can in this video. But the deck is really amazing. Tamed Wild is an incredible website that has all kinds of other wonderful things. They have a deck on herbs. They have a deck on crystals. They have a moon deck. They have candles. They have wonderful little kits and boxes of wonderful magical things that you can buy at very reasonable prices. They are not sponsoring this video, but I'm just saying that it's one of those websites where I get completely lost in because it's so full of possibility and magic and beauty. And so I'd like to give away this deck. And so if you are interested, I'm going to do it at the end of the month. And if I can get the lid off, I'm going to do it at the end of the month. So if you're interested, please like and subscribe and comment. If you already are a subscriber, thank you. If you already are a subscriber, you could just, like the video and comment as well. And I will be picking from the comments. I'll be writing everyone's name down randomly and drawing it at the end of the month and giving them away. So the cards are done in a kind of watercolor. This is the Deep Sleep card. I'm trying to pull some of these out so you can see them. I think I showed these last week on the other video, so I don't want to duplicate that. This is the Worthiness card. And let's show some more. I really like this one. This is the Manifestation card. They're very elegant and simple in that they're focusing on one object or one clear image. This is the Strength card. This is the Self-Care card. They're a good size. They don't, this is the Grounding card. They fit well in your hand and they're easy to shuffle. Unlike some other cards, they're so big, it's so hard to work with them, and they just go flying out of your hands all the time. So, and they have gold gilt edges, gold leaf edges. So, that's the deck. They have, on the back, they have a purpose, history and lore, braces, ritual instructions, and setting the intention. So there's information on the back, and this is why sometimes it can be too involved for a video, although I did do a few of them at the beginning of this series, so you can get a sense of that by watching those videos and journaling along with those. So again, if you're interested in the deck, please like, subscribe, and comment on this video, and I will be choosing at the end of the month. So today, in front of you, we have I'm going back to the Women's Bodies, Women's Wisdom deck by Christiane Northrup. She is a very famous Hay House author and doctor, and focuses on obviously women's health, specifically menopause, and she's hilarious. She is absolutely hilarious, and I would like to be her. Not really. I mean, be myself, but be like her. She is a great role model, and her main passion right now is dancing the tango, which I think is awesome. You can find videos, and I'm sure on YouTube, of her giving talks, and her books are great, and I really love this deck. I'm not going to try to explain the suits or the hierarchies of how she's organized it. I think it's not complex, but it's a bit more than other decks, and there's no need to do that. So what you see in front of you is like a mirror image of a woman wearing sort of like a gown, and I can't really tell if she's holding something or not, but she's obviously in a meditative state. So it's a mirror image you see in front of you, and the cards are this lovely gray-green. So to start us today, I thought I would light a harmony candle. This is an herbal magic candle that is charged with Reiki energy, and it has a statement to read. And so I'm going to light it first. It's purple. As you can tell, I love purple. And there's my air conditioning, and I'm sorry, but it's over 100 degrees where I am, so I am running the air conditioning. So here is the candle affirmation. So, take a moment and close your eyes and take a deep breath, sort of pull into yourself a bit, and pull back from all the things going on in your life right now, even maybe in the house where you are or the building where you are. If you're not able to find somewhere quiet, do the best you can do. The car is also a good place for these type of videos at lunchtime, by the way. So here's the affirmation. I will the energy contained within this candle to heal, harmonize, and balance my being. Harmony now radiates through my mind, body, and emotions. The magical flow now consumes my entire being. I am calm, relaxed, and at peace. Universal harmony now becomes my constant companion. May light and love surround and protect me in all my endeavors. I will it so be it. So there's set the tone for this session today, and I'm still feeling called to use multiple cards rather than one right now. I don't know why, but I just feel like I want to use more cards. So we'll go one by one and look at the cards and what they mean, and then along the way I'll suggest some questions that you can ask yourself and journal on, and then you can pick one card, or you can pick two, or you can pick all three and go through them one by one, or see how they connect and in your journaling, and then we'll journal for 10 minutes. So here's the first card. It is in the Enlightened Heart and Mind suit. You'll see that there are various suits, and it is Imagine and Allow, and her cards have stages to each suit, stages of progression. So this is the first card. So this is a very dreamy card. She has, I don't know if you can see it, but there are wings here. There are very translucent sort of angel wings here, or if you're not into angels, you can just consider them a symbol of flight and of lifting up or escape, if that's what you need. So that's this card. And let's take a look at what it means. I have to find it first. Okay. So these descriptions aren't really very long. They're very minimal most of the time, but just gives you a little something more to work with. Curiosity about the world and the desire to know more is the beginning of all knowledge and the basis for education. What would you like to know more about? We are born with open minds and an unquenchable search for knowledge. Ask why. So what comes up for you when you hear that? When you see this card and when you hear that information, what would you like to know more about? Or what would you like to ask why about? Or what should you ask why about that you're not asking and you know you need to? There's a little bit more here about education, about this suit, so I'll read that. There are many ways of knowing something. You can learn about the human body, for example, through technological scanning techniques and the classical study of anatomy. This will give you a roadmap for how to think about the body, but it will teach you nothing about how the energy of the heart actually influences and heals the body. The same is true with education. Education will ground your knowledge and give you a solid foundation upon which to build your own point of view, but it won't tell you how to enliven that knowledge with your spirit and use it to create a life of joy, freedom, and growth. Make sure that your mind and your heart always work together and in service to your highest possible purpose. So with that in mind, what would you like to know more about? Where might you need a more open mind? And what might you need to ask why about? Whether you know it or not. Maybe you know you need to ask why about something, but you don't want to know, and it's time to look into that. And also, with all of these cards, whatever comes up for you, it's also fine that you would like to explore. You don't have to do anything related to these cards if you don't wish to. So let's go to card number 2, which is active versus passive. This is in the Nurturance Self-Care suit. That's a very intense, beautiful colors. This is a woman underwater in a very gauzy kind of gown. So similar kind of gauzy, floating, sort of veiled like image. So that is, and it has all these colors. I hope you can see that, but I don't know if you can. It has blue and green and purple and red and yellow. It has almost pretty much the colors of the chakras, pretty much. That's what that is. The spectrum of that. So, Nurturance Self-Care suit. And this is active versus passive. In order to care for yourself optimally, you must know what you need, and you must also be willing to meet this need yourself if others cannot provide it for you. Ask yourself, what do I need? Am I willing to do what it takes to get it from myself? Ask for what you want directly. Realize that the answer may be no. So she's built in all these wonderful questions here. Let me read a little bit more about the suit. In order to live a life of fulfillment and creativity, you must learn how to replenish your body, mind, and spirit on a regular basis. Your body can be likened to a garden in which you sow seed thoughts and emotions regularly. The quality of the things that grow and are attracted into your life will depend upon how well you've prepared the soil and how rich and nourishing it is. Is your soil depleted or nutrient rich? Do you regularly feed yourself with delicious food, inspiring and humorous company, new goals and uplifting thoughts and ideas? Your cards will let you know where you need to focus your self-care and nurturance for optimal growth and productivity. So with that in mind, I'll ask the questions she has here again. What do I need? Am I willing to do what it takes to get it for myself? And then also, because she says that the answer may be no when you ask for what you want, what will you do if the answer is no? If you ask for what you want and the answer is no, what will you do? So the third card is in the self-expression suit, and it is complete and move on. And this is a woman holding a lotus, out of which is coming a white light. And these cards are all starting to fall down a little bit, so we'll put them back together. I love how they're all in different shades of blues and greens predominantly. So self-expression. So this is the complete and move on card. Look back on all the different ways that you've expressed yourself over the years. Celebrate who you were then, who you have become, and who you are now becoming. Notice how the essence of who you are never changes. Let your personal vision and your self-expression of that vision continue to evolve and strengthen with each passing day. Be inspiring to others and be a source of inspiration to others. Give thanks for the great artists, musicians, scientists, and so on, whose work and vision uplifts us. Whether expressing yourself or appreciating the expression of others, you are part of this magnificent circle of self-expression. So let me read to you about this suit. The famous singer-songwriter Dolly Parton once said, "Find out who you are and do it on purpose." Whether or not we express ourselves consciously and on purpose, we are constantly expressing ourselves every day by how we dress, what we say, what we read, and how we spend our time. Each of us was born with our own unique voice and role to play on Earth. No one else can play this role for us. It's our job to play it as brilliantly as we possibly can. When we are playing this unique role consciously and purposefully, we contribute to the good of the world, and we also attract more joy and enthusiasm into our own lives. So let's go back to this card again. Look back on all the different ways that you've expressed yourself over the years. Celebrate who you were then, who you have become, and who you are now becoming. Let your personal vision and your self-expression of that vision continue to evolve and strengthen with each passing day. Give thanks for the great artists, musicians, scientists, and so on whose work and vision uplifts us all. You are part of this magnificent circle of self-expression. I skipped over some things there, but there are lots of things you can do here. You can do what she suggests, looking back on all the different ways that you've expressed yourself over the years and look at the evolution of that self-expression. Maybe there's something that you stopped doing that you'd like to get back to doing. Maybe something you gave up that meant a lot to you and life took over. And how can you go back to that? How could you do more of that today? What is your personal vision right now for your self-expression? You could also pick a great artist or musician or scientist or whoever, writers whose work and vision uplift you, and write about that person and what they mean to you and what their work means to you and how they inspire you. You might find some wisdom there for you. So those are some ideas for journaling today, and let's get started. We're going to do that for 10 minutes. So that's our 10 minutes. You're welcome to keep going. Hit pause and keep going, or journal after the end of the video. I'd love to know in the comments, whether you want to. I mean, if you comment, I'm going to consider you entering for the deck, but if you're not interested in the deck, please do also comment. You can just put you're not interested in the deck in your comment. But I'd love to know what came out of these cards for you. I went in all different directions personally. I focused on the complete and move on and the self-expression card because I really feel like, not just because of all the stuff going on in my life with jobs and my house and car accidents and all this other stuff that I've talked about in other videos and will continue to talk about because I need to complete and move on. I just feel all of that has sort of made me take a second look at what my goals are and who I thought I wanted to be and who I am and who I'd like to be, and that all sounds very who would you like to be when you grow up? I still feel that way. I don't know about all of you, but I still feel like that's something I'm still trying to figure out and probably always will be. But I've really had to look at where I was and make different decisions and choices because they weren't these places I was literally, physically, in terms of house and job, weren't working out and weren't what I had hoped they would be, and they were dragging me down, and I had to move on from that. I haven't really landed yet, I don't think, but so I'm still in this sort of uncertain, transitory, liminal space that is not as uncomfortable as I thought it would be. It's a little draining, but I think that's a sign that I should be taking better care of myself. Which sort of feeds into the self-care card, and then from there will come the enlightened mind. So maybe I'll journal on those two after this video to move forward with that. But if you're in the same sort of liminal space of uncertainty, transitioning out of something that you thought was what you wanted, or who you wanted to be, or who you wanted to be with, or the work you wanted to do, or where you wanted to live, or these are all happening at once, I feel you. And a friend of mine, actually 2 friends of mine, have said to me that this next year for me, starting whenever I want, and it could start right now, and it really should, can be a year of recovery where I don't have to achieve anything, and I don't have to reach for something, and I don't have to accomplish anything, and I don't have to set these crazy goals for myself, and I can just focus on, recovery and getting back to myself with sleep and nutrition and exercise and movies and walks and travel and journaling and reading and all the things that I love to do, and visiting friends, and just anything that fills the well. I've talked about that, not necessarily for creative expression, but just in general, filling the well to get back to a more, or I was going to say more solid idea of myself, but I think that is more, the solidity of that would be an illusion. But however solid that illusion can be, could be a good thing. Give me some grounding, sort of ground myself and orient myself again. So passing that along to you if that's where you are, because that really resonated with me and feels really, I'm so drawn to that, and it feels like that's what I need. So I'm going to definitely be focusing on that. The happy news is that my house is finally going to sell. We're going to have a settlement date in the next 2 weeks, and that will be off my plate. The weight of that has been on me for so long, and now it's going to be gone. And, other issues have stepped up in my life with family and things to fill that gap, but, that's how life is. It's good to lift one weight at least and get rid of it. So I hope this has been a good journaling session for you. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget, if you are interested in the deck, please like, subscribe, and comment. If you've already subscribed, just like and comment. And please do share what came up for you, and just note that you're not interested in the deck in your comments so I don't accidentally choose you. And I wish you all a great week ahead and happy writing.